What up guys, welcome back to Liberia to the world. Welcome back to the channel. For all of you guys who are returning viewers, I want to say thank you so much. Always thank you for returning. Thank you for watching these videos. We're getting a lot of love, a lot of support. I see you guys, some of you are sharing these videos, most of you comment on the videos every time. Shout out to all of our early viewer gangs, all of our notification gangs. Those of you who get notification when we post videos on YouTube, we want to say thank you so much. And also, if you're new here, if you're just watching this video for the first time, you're here on this channel for the first time, we do ask you to join the family. You know, click the subscribe button, hit the notification, because when you do hit the notification every time we post a video, you will be part of that first watch gang. I feel like it's a great time to kind of break in between these episodes and go through a few Q&A, because oftentimes I go through the comment section, get to see what questions people are asking. Also, if you look below in the description, we have our email on there and other ways that you can contact us. We get a lot of inbox in our on our Instagram and Facebook, and also through emails, people asking several questions, and these questions could range from anything. I mean, a wide variety. So today is going to be a Q&A. I'll go to 10 to 12 questions or so, and you do not want to miss this. This is pretty interesting. Some questions have a lot to do with the topics we've been talking about on the channel. Some of them though, something we've never talked about on the channel, but they are very interesting, and I'm sure that those are topics that people do discuss in their circle. I've been making these videos. Some people know me personally, some people don't at all. Some of these questions will have something to do with me, maybe on my background and stuff like that. I want to do at least maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks a Q&A. So you can comment on this video, any questions that you have. I will go through the comment section. I'll pick all these questions. I'll give you guys a shout out on the channel, and also I will read your questions. So the first one here is, why did you start this channel? The first question here is, why did you start this channel? Really, like I mentioned in my previous videos, every time I go on YouTube, way back when I was living in Ghana and outside of Liberia, I've always kind of wanted to show people my country. But every time I go on YouTube to search Liberia, there wasn't really anything. The only thing that would pop up would be George Weah playing soccer, and that's kind of the most popular thing. Yeah, that was cool. That was really nice, to showcase the country. However, there was nothing really. I was seeing other countries in Africa really showcasing their country. Ghana, Nigeria, Congo, Sierra Leone, and Rwanda, and all South Africa, all these countries, and there wasn't really anything but Liberia. So way back, I've always thought about starting a channel or showing Liberia in some way. So that really inspired me now to start a channel. Question number 2 here, a little bit about you. So yeah, a little bit about me, and like I mentioned earlier, I know I started this channel. Most of you joined the channel without knowing anything about me. So my first name is Cephas. I am live in the US, in Minnesota, and also I'm a photographer, cinematographer, and I work in corporate America as well. Right now I have a photography business that focuses on portrait and weddings. We shoot weddings all over the world. We shoot here in America in the studio, we shoot in Africa and in Europe, we shoot in Australia. And also I'm a videographer, so I produce and shoot a lot of music videos. Most of your artists in Liberia, Kobasi, Denji, here Sean P, Benavi, even I went to Liberia and did shot a video for Panto, also for Jarido. So I do a lot of video production. We shoot a lot of music videos and also photography. So that's kind of what I do a lot more, and along with this YouTube channel. So a little bit about me there. So yeah, and I'm also an enthusiast of Liberia, and also an advocate for Liberia, and an advocate for promoting and supporting Liberia and Liberian businesses. So that's a little bit about me, and welcome to the channel, guys. The next question here, somebody just asked, mainly they're looking for opinions and suggestion. The person asked here, I think is Amos. He said, should I move to Liberia or other African country? Great question. Now, if you are a Liberian, of course, my recommendation would be to move to Liberia. If you're not a Liberian, if you're from another African country, or if you're non-African at all, and you're looking to transition to Africa, Liberia is a great place to start. I've mentioned this in so many other videos. You know, almost not most of the businesses you will start in Liberia, you're going to be the first mover. You're going to be the first in that space. Whenever you're the first in whatever business sector you're doing, you kind of get the upper hand from either establishing a brand, establishing a name, and being a household name or go-to for whatever that sector is. But also anybody else that comes after you will be a follower, will just be following after you. People are going to trust the brand. Your brand is going to have a history basically in that space. So, and you're going to learn quickly, and you're going to be more knowledgeable in that space than other people who are going to follow you. So moving to Liberia is a great thing to do, because you can start a business there that you can be the first in that space. And there's money in the country. People are bringing money back. Businesses are coming up. So I would recommend, it must asking if you should move to Liberia or another African country. I would say, yeah, move to Liberia, because, great weather too, great people. Every country has ups and downs and some hurdles, but that's not something you can't get over. If you find your way around, you connect with the right people. It's a great place to live, great place to start a business and expand, even start a family. Okay, so fourth question here is best part about your visit in Liberia. This is from Rebecca. The best part of your visit in Liberia, what did you like the least about your stay? So I think it's a two-part question: the best part and what I liked the least about it. The best part about my visit in Liberia, mainly, it's not like it's a combination of things. One is just the environment, being back home with my people, and also just especially if you don't live in Liberia, you live in in the diaspora where you work and live. It's quite hectic. Working, schooling, and everything. Going back home and not having any of those, that's the best part. Waking up in the morning to a beautiful weather, going to the beaches, connecting with your people, talking to people around you. Those are the best part of Liberia for me. Really just interacting with my people. Everywhere I went, there are Liberians, of course, because I'm in Liberia. But just your whole mood, like how you feel, your daily movement, and just your whole aura. Everything is just more peaceful because you are at home. So that's what I like the most. And and also all the business opportunities that are popping up in Liberia, they're very encouraging. So I like those the most. What I like the least, also what I like the least is also a combination of things. Mainly just kind of like mainly traffic. It'll be common like most people. Traffic, getting around was quite difficult, and also the fact that some Liberians are not open yet to really showcase the country in a way. Meaning, what I mean is, like I mentioned, I'm a videographer, I'm a cinematographer, so I do short films and documentaries. So when we're in Liberia doing documentaries for this channel, it was quite difficult to really get people to participate. Most people don't even want you to bring your camera around them. Most people just hate the fact that you're gonna bring your camera to point it at their business or to try to invite them to be on the camera. They don't want to do that. Somebody mentioned, I posted that on Facebook, somebody mentioned, because most Liberians have been taken advantage of. People come with a camera and trying to shed a bad light on them, so they're sensitive to that, which kind of makes sense. But also, I don't really see that as being the major issue. And the reason why I say that is because most of the time when we try to do this documentary and show people on camera, they are opposed to it. But then some people, when you give them money, most of them, you give them money and then they're okay. So it's not really about that sensitivity issue where they're feeling exploited. It's merely the fact that maybe most people just want you to give them something if they're gonna be in your camera. But most of what we're doing, sometimes you don't make money. We just want to showcase the country and showcase that person's business. But most people are opposed to it. Because I remember we went to Liberia, we went to like a coke shop, like restaurant, kobo shop. And the food was great. Everything was great. That we went there almost every day because the food was amazing. Everything was really good. So we decided to do a little filming to film the food and maybe talk to the lady who owns the place and to showcase, to tell people, hey, when you come to Liberia, come here. But she was like, nope, don't even bring your camera thing here. Don't put me on that camera, all kind of thing, So and nice. Trying to support your business here. So when people come, people come be asking where I get food from. That happens a lot. So that's the least thing I liked about my stay in Liberia, mainly because that's what I was doing the most in Liberia. Most people go just for vacation. They don't go to do any documentaries or films, so it's not a big issue, right? But for me, that's kind of what it was. Next question here from Sarah. Sarah said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy was it acquiring land in Liberia? I mean, I would say probably, acquiring the land wasn't hard. I would probably say a 7.5 to 8. It's quite easy to acquire land in Liberia, right? The thing that most people run into is maybe the legitimacy of the process or whoever you're acquiring the land from. You know, to make sure there are no issues, there are no conflict of interest, people selling one land to multiple people at a time. So acquiring land by itself is not a difficult thing at all. Most people, if you get asked almost any neighborhood, somebody's going to find somebody that knows somebody that is selling land, and you can get that. Just, I guess part of the process is actually getting a legitimate like actual land. Finding land is easy. Almost everybody sell the land, but you actually find a land that is legitimate, that is not being sold to multiple people, or like the person who is selling you the land actually owns the land. It gets quite tricky. You really got to know people who really know people that are trusted, you know. So it's a little difficult, but you just got to ask around. But the main thing, I've mentioned the tips in my other video, building in Liberia. You just got to ask around. There are a few ways to really make sure that the land you're getting is legitimate and it's not going to be sold to somebody else and things like that. So it's right there in the middle. It's somewhat difficult to get a legitimate land in Liberia. It is really easy to find land because everybody's selling land, but to make sure it's not being sold to multiple people or the person who sells you the land owns the land. Great question there. The next question here, Jusu said, should I move back to? Oh no! Oh, this is an interesting question. Alright, so I got this question. I'll just mention just first name, all these questions. I got a question here from Jusu. Says, should I go to marry? So basically asking, should he go back to Liberia to get married? Of course, I'm not a marriage counselor. I'm not a marriage expert or whatever, and I'm not for telling people what to do. Like, hey, you should do this, don't do that. However, though, this person is asking for an opinion. So of course, almost any topic, everybody has an opinion. My opinion about moving back to Liberia to get married, whether it be a man or a woman, is a few things, right? The first thing is, if I'm gonna move back to Liberia to get married, I'm gonna make sure my intention is to fully move back to Liberia, personally, right? Meaning, yes, before I even go back to start that process, I'll make sure maybe I'm back home, visit multiple times, maybe starting a business, maybe building a house, maybe setting some kind of groundwork, right? And then when I do decide if I'm gonna go to Liberia to get married, I'll go there, find the lady I'm gonna get married to, get to know that lady, you know, spend time, and maybe visit 1 or 2 more times to really know that person, interact with that person, see the person drive, their goals, their family, and everything like that. And then within that process, I'm also working on other businesses in Liberia. And the reason I'm saying is, ultimately, if I do go to Liberia to get married, the person I'm going to get married to in Liberia is going to stay in Liberia. I'm not saying the person is not going to come to the US. They will come to the US to visit throughout the years whilst we're establishing our relationship. But ultimately, when I get married, that person is going to stay there to run things in Liberia, right? Because like I mentioned, I will be starting the business. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to start planning, or if you're going to do that, I'll recommend you start planning to start a business, to start something, whatever, in Liberia. And then when you marry that person runs things there whilst you're over here hustling, maybe going back and forth. And then ultimately, in the short time or mid to long term, you move back, and both of you guys can live in Liberia. Both of you guys can come to the US or Europe, wherever you live, to visit and spend time and have fun, vacation, but ultimately move back to Liberia. That's my recommendation, that's my advice, because I see oftentimes people go back home, whether it be a man or woman, to get married without maybe just knowing the person by visiting one time or by talking over the internet and stuff like that, and then get married and bring the person to wherever they're at, and then they live together and things start to change. And there are two sides, right? One is the person coming may have a legitimate interest in you, or may not. Maybe may just want to change that environment, so they'll come with you, they'll, you know, and they'll just act like they love you and come until they're on their feet. The second part too is not everybody is like that. Some people don't really care about leaving Liberia. They're having fun. They're established. Second part to that is if you come here, most of the time people who are bringing you to wherever they're at tend to have a lot more, want to have a lot more control. They feel like they control you a lot more. They have a lot more power over you, right? They feel responsible for your everything. If you're doing better, if you're doing well in life, if you're succeeding, they feel responsible because they brought you here. So sometimes some people tend to treat you differently, or when things are not going well in a relationship, like every relationship, they tend to behave a little more extreme because the fact that it brought you to where you're at. So that may be at a disadvantage for you, then that may make your life difficult. So there are two sides. So that's why I'm saying, personally, if I'm going to do that, I will establish a business in Liberia and go there multiple times, get to know that person. And if I do get married to somebody in Liberia, that person is running the business and I'm ultimately moving over there. This is just an opinion. This is not saying, I'm not saying that's what I'm doing. I'm saying, if you ask me that question, that's the answer I'll give you. So great, interesting question there. The next question here is from Seba. Said, what are some solutions for youth in Liberia? This is a great question because while I was in Liberia, you notice right away the youth in Liberia is a big gap, right? I barely saw anybody under the age of 20 working. Most people are not working. A few of them working in the service industry, restaurants and stuff like that, helping their parents in the when they own the little business and stuff. But to have a legitimate job, like an actual job where you go to, most people under 25 don't have that. So for me, people ask me this question. I'm mainly for independence or local businesses building the country, or individuals building the country as individuals in groups building the country as a whole, meaning each community, each group of circle, each person contributing in their own way. For the youth, I kind of lean more towards government to see what kind of platform the government can put down to establish or to provide some kind of medium for youth, either it being constructions or infrastructure, whatever it is that the youth can go and build, especially those who are not in school, those who've graduated, and those who are not in school under 25, to have the government provide some kind of subsidies for them to go to school and acquire that higher level education to be able to be contributors to society and to acquire jobs when they get out of school. So it's a two-part. So either provide opportunities for them to go to school, or for those who are in school, they can still work. People can go to school and still work and provide some kind of opportunity for them. But also, we as Liberian, as a whole, when we're going back and we're establishing businesses, like I'm always advocating, and most of you Liberian who watch this channel are people who are already going back, who are already building businesses. That's an opportunity for you guys to provide jobs for the youth. And I think when more businesses go, because even in the US, most youth are working at small business, and in the US, small business basically is business that has maybe 500 and less employees. Those are not big corporations. They're owned by privately owned businesses. So your little sandwich shop and this and that, the youth, that's where most younger people in the US are working. So when we all Liberian go back and establish these businesses and establish a medium for us to provide for ourselves, we in return provide for the youth by employing them. So it's a two-part, all of us can contribute. We shouldn't rely on the government, but I think the government play a huge part in this. Again, this channel is not about politics. I barely know anything about politics. I'm just saying whoever it is that's in power maybe should really think about providing some medium for the youth. Second to the last question here. This one is from Teresa. She said, so do you enjoy making these videos? Yes, so I definitely enjoy making these videos. I wish I could make more videos. Like I mentioned earlier, I do run a couple businesses here in the US and work in corporate America, so I really do try to find time to make these videos. I'm really gonna, again, try to be consistent with them. I keep saying it, but I will be consistent to try to bring at least a couple of videos a week. Still working on that. Yeah, we're doing a few things. We're transitioning business-wise, moving to a different space and stuff like that. But yeah, I really enjoy making these videos. However, these videos, as short as they may seem here, or maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, do take a really long time to produce, hours and hours editing. So I enjoy the process. However, though, it is a little challenging because it takes a lot of time to make these videos. So go ahead and like it, subscribe to the channel. A lot of you guys are not subscribed. That's how you can support me, because I do put a lot of work into this video. So that's a great way to support me on this channel, by liking and subscribing and sharing the video too as well. All right, so lastly here, last question is, would you move to Liberia? The answer to that is yes, definitely. However, though, in my other video, I did lay out some steps to consider before moving. Obviously, never move anywhere blindly. You want to make sure you establish yourself there first. Maybe visit a couple times, see what you can do, how you're going to sustain yourself whilst you're there. Ultimately, that's my goal, is to move. So I'm laying some groundwork. I encourage you guys all to do the same. Liberians in all parts of the world. There it is, guys. 10 questions. Again, please send your questions to our Facebook, to our Instagram, or just comment on this video. Whatever questions you have, I'll go through, pick those questions, I'll give you a shout out, and also I'll read those questions and answer them.